been, how you been, and it's just reaching out. It really matters to reach out to our students, to reach out to these kids who are confused, scared, and many of them being left behind because they don't have high-speed internet, they don't have computers, they don't have access to laptops, and this shows the difference between poor communities, minority communities, and majority white communities are better off. They're in the same classroom maybe, but the kids have a different experience dealing with this crisis. And so that's one of the reasons why I propose that we spend $20 billion on putting high-speed broadband to every part of the country. Not just for this, but this is a perfect example why it's so important, including telemedicine. And we have to improve our ability to be able to communicate, but make sure that they're not whole chunks of society that are left behind. These are the people who, the teacher who's asked the question, knows that a lot of it just has to do with giving people some solace. And one of the other things that I think is important, and you may not think it's on point, but I bet the teacher does, is that, there's a lot of kids for whom this is going to have a psychological impact on them. And they already may be in a difficult circumstance to begin with. And so that's why I think we have to significantly increase, when we get back, the number of school psychologists and school nurses and social workers working with our teachers in our schools. And we have to provide significantly more access to mental health facilities available in these times of crises. But there's so much to talk about. I'm probably talking too long. Look, but here's the point. People that ask the questions today, and you as well, Rep, is you are the backbone of the country. It's not a joke. I want to thank you again for sharing your stories, for having this discussion with me, hearing directly from the people who are most impacted by this pandemic. Puts a sharp point on how intolerable Donald Trump's foot dragging and delays have been throughout this crisis. He's not responsible for the coronavirus, but he bears significant responsibility for the federal government's responding, the way it's responding. And it's painfully and increasingly clear that all he seems to do, he's unwilling to take responsibility. He said, no, that's not my fault. I don't take responsibility for any mistake he's made. He seems only focused on the politics of this, and he's not prioritizing workers. And he should stop talking about what he thinks and let the scientists speak. He's still not using all the authority he has under the federal law to make sure that healthcare workers and frontline workers, like the people on this round table, are getting the equipment, supplies they need. He's not directing OSHA to do everything it can and should to protect workers from infectious disease and be in the workplace to check it out. He's not doing enough to help governors and mayors who are leading this response. He's not bringing this country together. He likes to say he's the wartime president. Well, he needs to begin to step up and act like one, not harangue the